Hattis Hierophant. I am Crystal, your tarot reader. I have uploaded all of the people that were chosen for the complimentary reading and I posted it on Instagram. I did that on the 1st. So if you're like, you said the 1st, Crystal, I'm so sorry I didn't do it here first. It just takes me a little bit longer to upload it to YouTube. I will list all of those chosen in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you are doing well. I hope your family is well. I hope that beautiful spirit of yours is well. Let's get on. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about your April 2020 reading. And the center of your reading, Libra, is the Tower card. Now listen, don't click off, Libra. We're going to work on this together. We're going to talk it out with Spirit together. Now, the Tower card is not something to be afraid of or be like, Crystal, are you kidding me? You mean I waited for this? You are late uploading the videos and I waited for a Tower card? Libra, just wait. Let's talk about it. Listen, the thing about that energy, right? When the Tower card comes, when that energy comes, that means what we already had going on needed to be destroyed. It needed a do-over. It wasn't serving you anyway, right? That's why that Tower energy shows up, right? It's ruled by Mars. It's a shakeup so we can get to the truth. So when we go back to rebuild, we can build it with integrity, with structure, with strength, right? So let's look at it that way as we're going through your reading, okay, Libra? Now we're going to go into your moon energy, Libra, and if this is one of the first readings that you have stopped in to watch with me, your moon energy, that is where Spirit is working in your favor because they love us oh so much, or it's where you are resonating. That's where your subconscious is, and the two of them are married. There's a marriage there, believe you me. Now, the first card you have in your moon energy is the Hermit card. The second is the 9 of Wands. And the third card in your moon energy, Libra, is the 2 of Pentacles. So right away when I picked up that Hermit card, there's some of us that are like packing, right? And that's kind of like that hermit energy. Not only is it kind of going within and trying to figure things out, kind of a seeking counsel, self-counsel, that sort of stuff. It's also that of packing things away, right? Things that no longer serve us or things that aren't serving us at the moment. So I feel like some of us are packing. And then with this 2 of Pentacles that's here, I feel like some of us are packing and you're like, how can I pack this stuff up and move and at the same time work, or at the same time find work, right? I feel like that you're trying to juggle the two. Like you're trying to figure out, like, how can I do both? And I feel like that it's wearing you down a little bit. And that's where that 9 of Wands is coming in. Yeah. You know, when that 9 of Wands shows up, right, I always get that energy of like, this didn't have to happen, or why did this happen? So even the look on that character's face, right, looking back at all those wands, it's almost like it's just, this was unnecessary, right? And that's the feeling that I'm getting, that it's causing unnecessary drama, unnecessary work in your everyday, right? In your life, really. Because it's making you make these decisions and make these choices you normally wouldn't make because of this tomfoolery. Like, that's what I'm hearing. If it wasn't for this crap, then I wouldn't be going through this. All right, we'll talk some more about that, Libra. Now, let's go to your sun energy, and your sun energy, Libra, is where you show up. It's your ego. It's how I see you. It's how people see you. It's how you are shown to the world, right? And then the first card is the 9 of Pentacles. Doesn't surprise me, my lovely. And then the second is the 7 of Wands, along with the King of Wands. Now listen, we obviously have some fire energy in here. So Libra, I don't know if perhaps you have some placements in like fire signs, and or you're dealing with a fire sign. I keep hearing Aries. Perhaps one of you are dealing with an Aries. So the first energy I get right away, like this is how you are showing up to the world. Look how doggone beautiful she is and put together. And this is also energy of being very independent. Now, with that being said, Libra, because I get this 7 of Wands, and you see how this character is very defensive, this energy of 9 of Pentacles, that's kind of like the energy of I can do it myself. I can do it my damn self. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. If I need to get it done, I can do it myself. I don't need you. Like that's the energy I get from the 9 of Pentacles. So that's kind of like the shadow side of 9 of Pentacles, as opposed to like the sun side. And I'm thinking that's where we're going to resonate, because we're talking about your sun energy is more of just beauty and treating yourself in a way of, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise. I feel like that you're really in tune to managing your stress levels. I feel like that you're almost making time to maintain how stress is affecting you. Yeah, and you're defending it. Yes, that's where that energy's coming from, right? It's like, look, I need this time to myself. You're demanding, I need this time to myself. This is how I'm going to get through this. And you're defending that. And this King of Wands, and that King of Wands, that kind of brings it home, right? Because that King of Wands is the one that they don't mess around. When they show up, it's kind of like, this is how it's going to be done. This is how we're going to do it. So to have these three, you're really protecting your private space. You're protecting your energy. You're protecting, like, it's your Eden, right? So if you're in there having a bubble bath and you have your glass of wine, or you have your sparkling water, what have you, you're like, don't knock on that door, because this is my space. I'm not mad at you, Libra. Take advantage of it. Now, let's go to your immediate present. So I have the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Wands. So, and those 2 cards flank your center card, which was the Tower card, right? So I definitely see that this right here, Libra, that's causing a little uproar, and this probably happened because of this, right? So the 5 of Wands, that's typically like competitive energy. So I don't know if someone's trying to compete with you as far as trying to get attention, because obviously we're in our sun energy looking good, right? So I don't know if someone's trying to compete with you, or they feel like they need to compete with you. I think one reading we did for you, Libra, you were kind of going in a very independent direction. And if I remember correctly, we were a little concerned about, hey, don't worry about, I remember now. It was, if you keep going in the direction that you're going, right? If you keep climbing, if you keep changing, if you keep upgrading, so to speak, there's almost going to be a little pushback because they're going to be afraid that you're going to leave them behind. I remember that for you, Libra. And I feel like now that's happening. So it's kind of like, and you're almost like, why are you trying to compete with me? Like, what, well, why are we doing this? This isn't a competition. Like, that's what I'm hearing, right? Which is why it's causing this. And it's probably even causing this here too. Like, I'm not gonna deal with this stuff. I'm out of here. Let me go get in the bathtub. I'm about sick of this mess, right? Libra, I feel like you've just about had it. Yeah. See, the thing about that 8 of Cups too, right? Because cups represent love. That's where our heart is. That's where our emotions and our feelings are. So when you're to the point, Libra, especially you, when you're to the point where you're walking away, and you've kind of had it, then that means a lot of stuff happened. That means there was a lot of things that were said that shouldn't have been said, and things that shouldn't have been done. But even though there's a Tower card there, I feel more like it was a shift. Like this had to happen to shift this relationship. so that they knew that nope, you will not be talking to me like that. Nope, you will not be treating me like that. And guess what? We're not in a competition. Like I feel like that this tower moment had to happen so that whomever this is that's making this a competition, now they know exactly where it stands, and now they have a decision to make, because you've already made a decision. Like either you enjoy and love and like this person that I am here, or I'm out. Now you decide what you want to do now that you know what the terms are. Libra, I didn't expect that of you. I like it. I like it. All right, my love, we are going to expand on your moon energy. You know what? I'm almost feeling like too, there's some of us Libras that just recently walked away from a relationship that wasn't doing us any good, right? It wasn't letting you be your authentic self. And I feel like, yeah, I just got the chills, so that's 100. And because I initially felt strange saying it, because I feel like I'm saying it for every reading, but there's something about being authentic and searching for our authenticity that Spirit is asking of all of us. And it's almost like the people who cannot accept you for your authentic self, they're walking away, or you're walking away from them. And I feel like that also happened here, because that's what the 9 of Pentacles is all about. Like, this is me, right? She's wearing a freaking robe in the summertime with gloves on, right? That's someone who's confident in who they are. I don't care what you think. This is who I am. And if I need to be out here in the middle of 120 degrees and I have on a robe, honey, I'm living my best life. And that's the kind of energy that's there. And if I need to defend that, I will. And I feel like, Libra, that's what you've had to do. And I felt like because you were defending it, it created, like after a while, you just started arguing about silly stuff. Right? You start arguing about how loud someone chews or who didn't fill the ice tray. Like, it started getting really ridiculous because it was making way, right? The foundation wasn't strong anyway, Libra. And I think once you realize that, that's what made this decision here. And we knew that it was something you were thinking about, because you were weighing your pros and cons and your moon energy, right? And you did some self-counsel, and you probably even sought some counsel through friends, family, and perhaps even professionally for some of us. And you're like, I should not have to work this hard to be me, right? If you have to keep really ridiculing or disapproving of who I am, then why am I here? Why am I here? All right, let's expand on your moon energy. Why am I here? All right, my love, right? All right, so we expanded on that Hermit card. So once we started going within and we started thinking about, like, what am I getting out of this? How do I feel when I'm around this person? How do I feel when I'm at this particular job? Work and love seem to be heavy and almost, what's the word I'm looking for? They're working together for you, Libra. So I have this 5 of Pentacles, and then I have the Strength card. And to have that with the Hermit card, right? So some of us made the decision to walk away from a relationship, obviously. And it wasn't easy for you. It wasn't easy for you. It's something you really had to think about. So by the time you packed up your bags and left, it almost hurt you more than it hurt them. That's why it was so difficult for you. You had to muster up the courage to walk away from it. Now, for those of us who had to walk away from a job, or someone who we had to walk away from a business, we had to walk away from some business dealings. I almost feel like that some of us were just the middle of transitioning into like the dream job, into the dream situation. And because of the current times, it kind of fell through, and it kind of left you in limbo. So this is spirit, like pouring this into your moon energy, pouring this into your subconscious, wanting you to grab onto that energy of strength, right? And this card is all about courage. And in order for you to have courage, it's just not something you already have. Courage is one of those things that you acquire through experience, and unfortunately, sometimes you acquire through pain. You see, because by the time she has enough courage to put her hand in that lion's mouth and not have any fear, she had to do some work on herself and probably got scratched or bitten at one time, right? And she had to approach it a different way. She had to create trust with herself first, and then trust with this beast, right? So this is spirit encouraging you to draw on this courage at that time, to draw on that strength at this time. And it's always been inside of you. And it's always going to be inside of you, Libra. All right, so with the Two of Pentacles, we also have the Two of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So the pages, they bring messages, but I'm just seeing really just young energy there. So I don't know if we're around young people to where we're kind of grabbing some energy from them, and it's just refreshing for you. And then with that Two of Wands, right, we have another two. So we're definitely making decisions. I feel like we've made a decision to move on, right? We made a decision that, look, I'm a bit more important. Because when you have that world in your hand and you're facing it, this is one that you've created, right? It's not one that someone else created that you're admiring. It's one that you've created. And I feel like that you've made a choice. And if you haven't made a choice, I feel like you're in the middle of making a choice. Okay? And if some of you are waiting for a choice to be made, like, where's this going to go? What's going to happen? What's the next step? You're going to be hearing about that sooner than later. Okay, so if you're wondering about that, Libra, you're going to be hearing about that transition, that move sooner than later. And I feel like it's a move. I just see you packing up. And that's more, no, it's work and relationship oriented. I feel like for half of you Librans, it's work, and I feel like the other half is like relationships. But all I know is that we're packing some stuff up. Even if you're just packing it up just to not necessarily move, but just to kind of take it out of sight, almost like you need some closure. Like, I don't want to look at this anymore. I just don't want to look at it. Yeah, so I expanded on that Nine of Wands. We are definitely dealing with the fire sign. And then we also have the Knight of Cups along with the Ten of Wands. So I feel like that, I feel like you're almost tired of waiting, right? It's like, Spirit, where's my offer? Where's my offer of love? Like, when is it going to happen for me? Like, I'm tired of carrying around all these past relationships and past offers that didn't work for me. Like, when is it going to work out for me? Let's see, Libra. Yeah. All right. Like, I had to get some answers for you, Libra. I had to get some answers. So I see the Five of Cups as well. So we've obviously have had some disappointments in relationships, right? And that's what fives are. And we obviously had a transition, because that's what fives also represent, is transition. And it's typically one that's uncomfortable, right? We have the Five of Pentacles along with the Five of Cups. So I see that we've definitely gone through some transition. So if you're asking, Spirit, when is it going to be me? When is it going to be my turn? When am I going to have that dream job? When am I going to have that dream opportunity? When am I going to have that relationship? Because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. Well, Spirit answered. I asked, Spirit answered. And that's the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the thing about this, Libra, right? Just like everything that turns, there's a time. There's timing, right? There's a time when that wheel is going down and it comes back up. And because it is the Wheel of Fortune, if it hasn't come yet, this means it's coming. It's just all about timing. You don't have to force it. I feel like that we've been trying to force something. We've been trying to force it. And Spirit is saying, you don't need to force it. I have it for you. You got the Wheel of Fortune. I have it for you. You don't have to force it. I'm seeing if there's anything else there in your moon energy I can get work related. And I am going to be uploading a work, job, career, and calling video for this quarter too, so be on the lookout for that. Okay. All right, let's move on to your sun energy. And I'm expanding, and you show right on up to your reading, of course. I expanded on that Nine of Pentacles. We are really thinking about relationships here, aren't we, Libra? So I expanded on that Nine of Pentacles, and I have the Queen of Swords. That represents you, Miss Libra, right? And then I have the Three of Cups. I don't know why, Libra, but I always feel like I get the Three of Cups with you. I feel like I need to hang out with a Libra. Like, seriously. I feel like it would be like a lot of fun. So perhaps when we had this separation, this breakup, right? For those who did, and I'm not wishing it on the coupled Libras, because I know that some of you are coupled and you're happy and it's flourishing. I know that for sure, because I got a lot of I want to say Venus card. I got a lot of Empress energy from your last reading, so I know that some of you are very, very happy in your relationships. However, some of you are very, very happy in your single life as well, right? That's where this energy is coming from, right? And I feel like that the reason why we are so happy in our single life is because now that you broke away, right? Now that you walked away from this, and you had to stop defending who you were, right? You're like, I like myself. I like me. I think I'm pretty cool, right? And you've been kind of celebrating you. And I feel like you've been celebrating you by taking care of you, Libra, right? You've been saying nice things to yourself. You've probably been buying nice things for yourself, or just treating yourself nice and kind. And I like that. Now, I expanded on this King of Wands, right? And then I got the World card along with the Three of Swords. So because I have that Wheel of Fortune in your moon energy, right? And we're talking about the King of Swords here. If some of us were dealing with the fire sign, right? And we let that go, it was time. Like whatever relationship we had that we just had to say bye-bye, it karmically had to end. So check yourself there, Libra. And what I mean by that is really evaluate your role in it. Evaluate your role in why it didn't work out, right? Even if it's just like, I moved too fast, right? I was more interested in being in love than love, right? Whatever it is, evaluate that, because now that cycle's over. That cycle is ding dong dead done, right? But let's not create another cycle of this if we don't learn from this cycle, or else it'll just keep repeating itself, right? And I feel like that if we can do that, if we can do some self-evaluation and say, what was my role in this? Oh, maybe I can correct that. I feel like that's when that Wheel of Fortune relationship is going to show up for us. So I feel like that some of us, this is work related. So I feel like this was like a boss, or this was a supervisor or something like that, right? And obviously with the nature of where we are, right? everyone is a little bit uneasy. This whole transition is just not a transition in our physical, in our work, in our finances. It's a spiritual transition as well. And with that, it is going to be some of this like defending our new way of life, our new way of thinking, or even our current way of thinking, right? I'm also getting Libra. If you're in that mindset of to where you're not changing with the times, you're going to be doing this all the doggone time. Transition. Yeah. Transition, right? Because the world is changing. That's a message specifically for some of you certain Libras. Because if we don't move with the time, if we do not transition into this new way of working, into this new way of living, right? It's going to be extremely disappointing for you. There's no way it's going to go back. I keep hearing that. There's no way it's going to go back to how it was, how it used to be. Goodbye. So I expanded on that Eight of Wands and I got the Emperor, right? This is the institution of all institutions, okay? This is telling me that not only is there going to be change, but this is all about the Emperor. He makes things right, which is the reason for this. That's why it's the center of your read. It's time to make things right for you, Libra. The Emperor showed up in your Sun energy. It's almost like this is the part at the end of the movie to where you want the hero to come in. This is the spiritual hero, the Emperor. I'm coming to save the day. Get on this horse and ride it. And then you have this Page of Cups. To me, this is such a loving energy. Again, we have the Page of Pentacles in your moon energy. We have the Page in your ego energy. So we are definitely charging our own childlike energy to help us in spirit, to help us in our ego, to help us get through this transition. Interestingly enough, Libra, some of us had to transition in our work, right? And you're doing something different. I feel like that we're almost gonna meet someone in the Libra. Only your cute behind. I feel like we're gonna meet someone in this transition. It's just gonna be so odd. Like, how did this even happen? You'll have to let me know, because I'm nosy. Obviously. Listen, I can't make this stuff up. You hear me over here shuffling, right? So I expanded on this Eight of Cups. Baby, I got the Death card. Right? I got the Death card. And then the Nine of Cups. So, obviously, this transition had to happen, whether it's work or whether it's relationship, because I feel like it's either or. Don't take this as a loss. Take it as a win. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the World card, the Death, the Tower. Oh my word. First of all, when I see all of those cards together, your person is coming soon. I know that, right? Because that's what shows up. It's like this big boom kind of happens. That's what happens when you run into your person. It's almost like, what? It's like the planet shifts, and I see some shift planet stuff happening here for you. So if you're wondering about that special person, yes, they're on their way, especially here with the Nine of Cups. It's clear as day for me. Okay, so there's that. If some of us had to walk away from a job, we had to walk away. It's ding dong dead, right? Remember how we were just talking in your Sun energy, like, let that go. We're not going back to that. That's it. This is one to where you're not going back. You're going off to a different part of the country, to a different part of the city, just a whole different way of thinking, a whole different way of doing things. And by the time you go in this journey, it's one that is better for you. There was nothing left for you here anyway. Where else did you have to go here? That's why this had to happen. And it's almost like Spirit said, you know what? I already know that if I keep just a little bit of this for Libra to where there's an opening, they'll go back to it. That's how come this death energy had to show up. It had to end it so you can get this wish fulfilled. There's so much more in store for you. You see, this is considered a wish card, but this is more of, in my opinion, it's more of that energy of something you meditate on so badly that the universe starts shifting, and then all of a sudden starts happening for you, and you're like, oh my gosh, my wish came true. No, Libra, you were manifesting it. You were manifesting it. Spirit listened. You resonated there so much that the planet started shifting for these things to happen. So I guess in a way you can say your wish came true. It's beautiful. And then with this 5 of Swords, I have the King of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles. So right away, so are some of us Libras into an older person as far as in a relationship? I feel like some of us are looking for someone who's typically a bit older than what we date. I see that. I also see too, with this transition in work, once we start walking towards this, what we've been dreaming about and thinking about anyway, and I feel like that because we've had this, that you almost had to lean in on these dreams and ideas that you had, because you're like, I don't have a choice now. I have the time, right? So now I really need to go towards my dream. Well, keep going in that direction. It's going to create a legacy for you. It took a little bit longer than we wanted, Libra, but this is so deliberate. All of this was that's all I keep seeing and hearing, is that everything that has happened, I want to say in the past 3 months, everything that has happened has deliberately been happening for you, and believe it or not, you've been manifesting it, right? It's probably not showing up how you think it should show up, and you're like, well, I didn't ask for all this pain. I don't know why, but it seems like when we get a pinch, we remember it a bit more. I don't know why it works out that way, Libra. All right, sweetness. I am going to expand on this Tower card. Libra, Libra, Libra. So you definitely have some transformation here. That's all I can say. So I expanded on the Tower card and I got the Judgment card. Right? This is like a rebirth for you. This whole transition was to happen so you can be a different Libra. And I saw a little bit of it in your sun energy, because I was a little surprised that you were just like, I've had it. Right? And then I expanded and got the 6 of Wands. And for that to come off of the Tower card and the Judgment card, that's all like celebration. We're going to be celebrating you, Libra. You're going to be celebrating yourself. You're going to be celebrating your efforts. And then the Hierophant, right? So I don't know if some of us Libras are in politics or not necessarily politics. I hear like commissioner, like more on a state level, right? There's something there to where you are going to have something to do with the judgment of politics, right? And you're going to kind of be the hero, because there's something you're going to bring forth. There's some truth, there's some policy, there's something to where you're going to bring it forth and people are going to celebrate your contribution to that. Some of us, right, because the Hierophant represents romantic marriage, right, commitments, that sort of thing. And because that is with that Tower card and that Judgment card, and I told you, like, your person is showing up. If they haven't already shown up, they're showing up. That's also Taurus energy. So perhaps your person is a Taurus or have heavy placement in Taurus. So be on the lookout for that as well. and they are really just going to disrupt your everyday life. That's what Six of Wands is all about too. That represents like everyday activities. So there's definitely going to be some change here. Wow, this is pretty cool. All right, my dear. So that is it for your April 2020 reading. And remember, I feel like that some of this energy is going to go into May as well. I had a girlfriend of mine that got me these wonderful little angel cards. I want to say about last year. She got it for me and a girlfriend of mine. And we would choose one of these cards once or twice a day or a week, and we would resonate in this energy anytime we would have, you know, feelings like this or feelings like that, right? To kind of reset our energy. I'm gonna do that for us, Libra. Let's choose 3. Oh, I never got this one. Sisterhood, brotherhood. Well, first of all, for it to be sisterhood, brotherhood, this is the first one I've seen to where it's like you have a choice, or there's 2, right? And you know, Libra, you like everything to be fair, right? You like everything to be good for everyone. So this whole sisterhood, brotherhood, remember how we were talking about this? I see some of us in a political kind of way making a political move. I feel like that you want it all for all sisters, all brothers, a sisterhood and a brotherhood for all, right? Not just for some. The next energy I get is creativity. This is obvious because I see that when this Tower moment happened and we had to transition into something, perhaps a new career, a new business, right? I feel like that we have to go back to our creativity and open that part up, right? It took us a little bit longer to get there, but it's going to create some legacy kind of money for us. And not only money, because a legacy is not only money, it's also a lineage, right? So I feel like we're going to see some of that there too. And I also have some earth energy. Obviously, we have some Taurus energy, we have some other earth energy here that perhaps is going to help you along with that business and your creativity. The next one I get is truth. Wow. The thing about truth, right? It's not just truth as far as you telling the truth. It's being truthful with yourself, right? Being truthful, saying, this is who I am. I am no longer going to downplay who I am, what I believe, what I like, what I love, because it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's my truth. I like it, Libra. Listen, I absolutely adore you.